What's going on? All right. We are live on air, y'all. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? This is Maurice Delk in the house. And I personally, remember I said in my video about days ago that I said I am looking for a friend with white privilege. I'm looking for a white person with white privilege. And guess what? I finally found one right here. Right here. Here she goes.
Hey, baby, it's cold outside. I really can't wait. Baby, it's cold outside.
Yes.
How you doing, Mo?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Kendra. How you doing?
I am doing fantabulous. Sip, sip, sippity, sip.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Sip, sip, sippity, sip.
Right?
Right. I'm going to share this to Facebook really quick. You go ahead and just introduce yourself to everybody.
Introduce myself. Well, I'm Kindred Zuxworth, founder of Amerikindred. All around American girl that loves to eat some bacon. Just saying.
There you
sip,
go.
Sip. I got my haters. I got, the people that love me. And so, yeah, it's one of those things.
One of those things, and you know what? I always say this, and it's the truth. Your haters make you famous because they're the biggest fan of you, and same with me, with us, hater, they make us so famous, it's like wow, like I said on my YouTube channel, I got like 10,000 subscribers, right? Most of them probably trolls.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, right? Or they're sitting at home like some people that we know and have nothing better to do with their lives. And so I wanted to touch on that about your video the other morning where you said, what are you doing? What are you doing that's positive, that's actually doing something? Like I left Facebook for over a year because of people like trolls and haters and liars and things like that. And the thing that we have to realize is that we're still Americans that still have a job to do. And, people, oh, Kindred, I want you to come back. No, fuck you. No, I don't care. Where were you when I was being attacked? I know you were there when me and my husband were being attacked. But, but then in the long run, it doesn't really matter because it just strengthens your resolve to do things and get real things done instead of staying on Facebook and becoming Facebook famous, which a lot of these people are still doing. They're still trying to ruin people's lives, only I wasn't the sole target anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still here. I'm still doing things,
Wow.
So.
Yeah. Since you left Facebook, I started seeing stuff on Facebook that you saw a while ago. And I'm right here like, oh, now I eased my way over here. Now I'm on YouTube. Like,
right.
I'm doing my live video. I do it once a week maybe on there, but I can't.
Right. Facebook is still a pariah. The thing is that you'll say that, and then there will be other people who will say, well, then why are you still on there? Because people are still afraid to move platforms. I remember when Jeremy Harrell went on MeWe, and he's like, okay, everybody come over here because we'll finally have a platform. I was the second person to sign up after him. Do you know what I'm saying? But people don't like change. They get it into their routine. They get to know how a platform works. So like, I left Facebook. But then I went on Twitter because we had so many things going on in Michigan that needed to be addressed. And I had someone running Amerikindred, who's still running Amerikindred, to post things in case people were getting sidetracked. And, oh, Kindred, I want you to come back. No, Kindred is disinclined to acquiesce your request. But I'm back there now. There's still some things that we need to discuss about our specific states, about what's going on in the country, that are really important that people are so missing the mark on, and they're getting distracted by nonsensical bullshit.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? So it's just, yeah.
Is Michigan a sanctuary state over there?
It is. Okay, it is not a sanctuary state. Now, there are going to be people that want to disagree with me. However, it takes a lot for a state to become a sanctuary state. Now, there are cities within Michigan that people would consider to be sanctuary cities, but it actually has to be voted on. And I know that it's been turned down in a lot of cities because people like me and others that are in my state that were grassroots here in Michigan, you have to go to the city council meetings. You have to go to the school board meetings. You have to get to know the legislators. And so you can try to get legislation passed. I mean, that question alone can bring up so many different topics for me. So I don't want to like segue too much and get people confused.
Okay.
But like, for instance, the people of Michigan they just elected Gretchen Whitmer for governor. She has been known to want to make our state a sanctuary state. She was backed by Abdul El Sayed, who was her running mate in the primaries, who is sponsored by Jetpack, people like Linda Sarsour, who's a documented jihadi terrorist. You know, there's so many things. We'll talk about Jetpack later, but the people that went to the midterm elections, they didn't come out in force. Okay. The people that still decided these things for Michigan are in the bigger states of like Detroit and things like that. So it kind of really screws us up when we're trying to do things. But then there's people that think the midterm elections don't matter. And that's wrong.
Right. All right. Inside stuff.
Inside stuff. You
know, that's what I said. Like, I don't hear people too much talk about Michigan, like on YouTube. I see people California.
Right.
No, we need to get, because it ain't just things ain't just happening in California.
No, not at all. The thing with California, me being from California, is that they have a similar problem like Michigan does in how their voting districts are, because those are so saturated by Democrats, by liberal agendas. And we just had a law that technically the people of like Detroit and those oversaturated Democratic counties voted for, which was a proposition. I can't remember if it's one or two or three that they voted on, but they both have to do with the same things. One was about voter ID. The other one was redistricting our state, which is what happened in Pennsylvania when they redistricted the voting districts so that to try to get more Democratic voters. Now, they keep trying to say that people overwhelmingly voted for this. No, the people of Detroit overwhelmingly voted for that. And the people in the other counties didn't come out in force. So what that means is some people might think that that's a good thing to redistrict a state because of the highly saturated things, just like in California, okay, where you've got like LA and then you've got San Francisco that completely override the outer lying counties of like San Bernardino, say, but it could also work against us. The problem is that people need to get off their asses and actually do what they need to do in their communities. Figure out your research. You need to research these people. You need to research what's going on, because it's all at a local level. Then it goes to the state level, and get the people out there to vote. You can't just sit on your ass and say, oh, go out and vote. You have to get out there and do it, but there's so much more that you have to do besides just voting. So,
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna now people want to follow you, so I'm gonna give them a link to your where they can find you at Amerikindred.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna do that. So
yeah, because my personal page is personal. So for everybody who's been sending me requests on my personal page, no.
Yeah. I'm one of her special friends.
You are. We've been friends a long time, Mo. Through all the stuff. Just saying.
Through all the stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah. I started. Y'all the first videos I always seen start live videos. I start seeing pop up, like, doing the Patriot movement. Like, hold on, all right. I like her. I see you sit there. I watch your stuff. Like, okay, I watch Gina stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's I see the women verse. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I was saying Angie, like, oh, okay, yeah, right. Yeah. Yep. So I was like, that's what's up. So I'm looking at y'all and then look, the women, I see all y'all like this. Okay. And then I'm looking at, I see Tommy popping up. Like, oh, okay. I see Will. Then my sister say, hey, this is dude just like you, Will Johnson. Boom. I'm like, okay. And then I started doing it. Like, one day I just started doing a drunk live video. Yeah, everybody knows I started drunk live video at night, and the video went viral. And then here I'm here.
Right. And there are some things that have gone, that have been bigger, follower kind of things for me too. But this is where people get it twisted, is if you can't just be Facebook famous, you have got to. Okay, followers are good, especially when you're trying to have a message. But now, since there's so much censorship, your pages can be taken down. Heather Briggs, Prissy Holly, Liberty Bell, all their pages, their actual personal pages were taken down, some with 500,000 followers. So again, I've been saying this since the beginning. You have to remember the quality of your followers and not the quantity of your followers. Because some of the same people like you, like Heather Briggs, like Gina Nelms, like freaking like Julie Klein, all of those people are still in my circle. Like in my personal circle. Do you know what I'm saying? It's all about quality. It's not about the quantity of followers. And if you are not the same kind of person in real life that you are when you're on the video screen and live streams, just
and I've seen it happen. I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. Like, you're not that same version. People see me, I've been that same person for the last 46 years.
Right. Right. 45 for me.
One of my good friends, right? Someone shared a video. The black dude, he was like, look at this old crazy dude right here. I can't stand this dude. He just said some crazy stuff that he looked like this here. Oh, he a Trump supporter. Oh, I know that dude. We grew up together. That dude ain't changed a bit.
No,
so
you haven't.
He gonna inbox me. He said, dude, give me a call. Here's my number. F Trump, dude. I'm like, huh? Oh. He's like, yeah. That's what he said. I'm like, what's up, dude? He said, dude, you still pissing people off. That's what he said. You still this dude.
Oh,
like,
well.
You don't give a damn what nobody's saying.
Right. I never have either. And so that's that. Sip, sip, sippity, sip, sip, sip.
Yeah. Ain't none of my business.
So, you know, and I know you wanted me to talk about Michigan. So I'm just going to segue that back. I know this is your show, so I'm not trying to take it over.
No.
This is what you asked me to do. Okay. So like you said, a lot of people are concerned more about California or about New York. One thing in particular, okay, I can hear an echo. So if I talk weird, it's going to be weird. Michigan also has voter fraud. Okay. We had it back in 2016 when Jill Stein wanted to do the recount, because we have so many different cities that are run down, that empty homes that need to be torn down, that had ballots mailed to those addresses. That was found out in the 2016 election. Tammy Corleone, who is running for Michigan Executive Assistant Chair, I believe, for the Michigan Republican Party, she dug into it further, and I can put links up to what she's done. But you have to get into things before elections, like looking into voter fraud, making sure that it's not just something that people talk about, that it's not a side note. The other proposition I was talking about the voter registration, this is really important, because they keep saying that an overwhelming majority of Michiganders voted for this. No, we didn't. It's the people who are still getting the absentee ballots in places where the numbers show that there were more ballots put in than there were registered voters. And again, in midterm elections, not all registered voters go to the polls. So Tammy's really great, and she's been looking into that. But what that proposition was to have same-day voter registration.
Okay.
It also said then you have to remember who was elected as our governor, as our lieutenant governor, who want to put illegals before actual citizens. I mean, it's stated, I've posted many links on Amerikindred, where it's statements that they have made. It's in their voting record about how they want to make Michigan a sanctuary state, where they want to put illegals and foreigners above American citizens. Michigan really screwed up in these midterm elections. We had John James running for Senate, who's an amazing American. He happens to be a Black American. And I'm sorry, I do not do the whole hyphenated bullshit. I don't, because it's stupid. If you're American, you're American. I've been saying it for years. But yet, John James, there was a lot of people in Michigan who were saying that Michigan would never elect a Black senator, especially not one with a white wife. And that pissed a lot of us off. But apparently it didn't piss people off enough to look at his record as an American businessman, as a Vietnam, or as an Iraqi freedom veteran, who wanted to do more for our veterans and had business acumen to bring more jobs to Michigan. Instead, they wanted to be apathetic and vote for the all-inclusive. And well, this is what I heard the most. It's so great that there are women on the ballot. Well, let me tell you something, Buttercup. Just because you're a freaking female and you got boobs doesn't mean that you are educated enough to run our state.
Woo! Yes.
You know, your body parts, which half of those people were like, oh, yeah, yay, transgender bathrooms. Yeah, blow me on that, too. There's been transgender bathrooms for a long time. They're called like outhouses. You know, but all of these same people were voting for her because she was a woman, because they didn't want to vote for a black man with a white wife and mixed children. But yet they call us the party of intolerance. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So these people had it on the ballot about Proposition, I believe it was 3, where you don't have to have an ID to vote, where you can register to vote the same day. If people had done their research and given a damn, they would have realized that a lieutenant governor of a state is actually picked by the party after the governor wins the primary, right?
Right.
Gretchen Whitmer chose Garland Gilchrist the third. Mm-hmm. He is openly stated on the record that Hamas is a legitimate organization, and that he hopes that by being elected, that it will bring down Trump's, and I say President Trump because he's your president.
Yes.
President Trump's rhetoric and catering to Israel. So that's one Hamas legitimizing anti-Israel, anti-American person. Both of these people who are now in charge of our state are completely anti-Trump. Okay. They also have financial backing from groups like jetpack.com. Now, I remember when nobody else had pages and Jeremy had brought it up. And then so I did some more research because he was the guy with the following, and I was the person that did the research. Right. Jetpack.com. It's JET-PAC.com. Now, if you look up Jetpack, if you try to Google it, it's going to try to take you to a video game. You have to literally spell it JET-PAC.com. That has been up and running since 2015. It's all about infiltrating our infrastructure. It says so on their front page that they want to infiltrate our infrastructure, our political infrastructure, with Muslims. Okay. And I want to read to you. Am I like totally taking over your show? I'm sorry. This comes from the explanatory.
No, take it over. You take it away.
Well, this is what you asked for, honey. Sorry.
The name of the video is straight out of Michigan. So
right?
I'm letting you talk about Michigan over here. So
okay. So one, Abdullah El-Sayed, who was endorsed by people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, which is what I call her because she's a dumb bitch. They were endorsed by her, by Linda Sarsour. Their financial backing also came from George Soros. I mean, we proved all of this. Okay, George Soros is not a myth. But also by the people of Jetpack. And I want to read you what was written by the Muslim Brotherhood of North America. That's here. Okay. From the explanatory memorandum on the general strategic goal for the group, meaning the Muslim Brotherhood in North America. The Ikhwan, I believe that's how it's pronounced, which means the Brotherhood, must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house by their hands and the hands of the believers, so that it is eliminated and God's religion is made victorious over all other religions. That's the actual statement from the Muslim Brotherhood of North America. Okay, so then people will keep saying, like, do you even know how many Muslims are now in our government? There are a lot, and some of them actually were Christian or Protestant, whatever. that converted when Obama was in office. So thanks, Obama. But jetpack is one thing. Everybody needs to know that Islam and Sharia law are not coherent and do not adhere to the Constitution of the United States of America. It never has. It never will. I will quote the 1952 McLaren Act, the Warren-McCarran Act. And if I'm saying that wrong, it's just because I did. And people are going to keep saying, okay, that was actually written. There was one in 1920 that was drafted that specified people of Japanese origin or nationality not to come into the country because of the conflict in World War I. Then it happened again in World War II. There were some caveats brought in, like President Carter. He instilled that act to specifically target Iranian people from coming into America because of the conflict there. A lot of people got on President Trump because he was trying to do the Immigration Act. And they're quoting that, but it has been changed several times. And the part about nationality has been taken out. And people will still try to say that President Trump is doing it wrong because it's racist. Muslim is not a race. It is a political ideology and it is a choice.
Ooh, see, go ahead. There's some stuff I want to rant about that. Right. I can't believe people are that damn stupid.
Right. Especially when that is in their actual bylaw. Their actual mission statement is to overtake our government and fill it with Islam. Now, what some people don't know, oh, well, it's unconstitutional to do this, or, it's okay that they took their oath on the Quran. No, it's not. Okay. Because you can argue and bitch about it all you want, but I put up a link this morning on Amerikindred about what happened when our Constitution was ratified. Now, the federal government cannot establish a religious test for public office. Okay, but individual states can. Individual states can. And at the time of the ratification of the Constitution, almost every single state had a religious test so that they would pledge their allegiance to America and the founding documents, which is the Constitution.
Come on.
Okay, the Constitution was written with pretty much a Christian value system, whether it's Protestant, Catholic, whatever, all the different sects of Christianity. Now, someone had asked me before, what about if you're an atheist? Well, I asked one of my friends who happens to be an atheist. He's like, I would at least swear my oath on the Constitution, which is right and proper to do. Like there was that chick that just swore on a book of Malcolm X. It's like, okay, Malcolm X was not a founding father. It has nothing to do with our government except his own brand of anarchy against the government. So if you're swearing on a book by somebody who was trying to, in his time, do things against the government, then how are you supposed to be a proper and right civil servant? Okay. Islamic law, again, you cannot swear on the Quran. And yeah, I'm going to say that because as an American, Sharia law is not American law. If there is a mosque in your town, like there is in Michigan, a mosque is a Sharia court. It's not just a place for prayer. Okay. That's where people go if they have a dispute, if they have a domestic dispute, if they want to get divorced, which is also against, Islam. You have to go to a Sharia court. You don't go to the regular federal courts of America. Oh, no, they don't, Kendrick. Yeah, they do. Look it up. Just saying.
Look it up.
Do your damn research.
Research.
Research, do your freaking research and make sure that it's valid research, not something. If one more person tells me, well, Snopes can suck it. They've been debunked so many times, it's insane. Do valid research. Get into the archives of the Library of Congress. If you're in DC, go get yourself a Library of Congress card. I have one. Why don't you? Go to your, your Congress, your own libraries in your states and figure out what actual documents have to say. Not what Snopes says, not what your favorite Facebook personality says, not what any of that shit says. Get real freaking documents, people.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you got me. Oh, see. I get pumped up like that. I get flagged. I get flagged when I get pumped up like this, man. YouTube flagged me and gave me 3 strikes and shut my YouTube channel down. I had to peel it and get this back.
Oh, well, crap. Have you missed me, Mo?
I know. We're gonna get my ass in trouble with the
well,
truth.
you asked me about what's going on in Michigan, and this is what's going on because for the first time, like, people think, oh, it's the first Muslim people elected into Congress. Wrong. There was Keith Ellison. You remember him, don't you? There was oh shoot, I had it written down because I didn't want to miss anything. So Andre Carson got reelected, and he is a well-known Muslim. Some of these people aren't coming flat out and saying that they are, but they've been there for a while. Okay. And we do have Obama to thank for that. Okay. We do. And anybody who tells himself otherwise is missing the point. Now, Ilhan Omar from Minnesota was elected. She's the one that they're trying to reestablish the head covering stipulation in Congress. You can't wear hats in Congress. It's just like a military person not being able to wear their cover indoors. Okay. It's the same thing. It's just showing respect. But no, let's change it for someone who whose Sharia law will not. Okay. I got to gather myself for a second. Okay. She's trying to change that law. Let me get through the list of names and then I'll tell you why that's really screwed up. Rashida Tlaib from great old Michigan was elected in the 11th district, which was John Conyers' old seat, who he was made to retire for sex allegations. So yay, go District 13 of Michigan, or 11. I'm sorry, just saying. Let's see. Andre Carson, Keith Ellison, Garland Gilchrist, like I said, who is they're all Hamas supporting. Rashida Tlaib, as soon as she got elected, was waving and walking around underneath the Palestinian flag. It's like, no, you are here to serve the American people. You better be waving the American flag or take your ass back to Pakistan.
Take your ass back.
You know, there's things that are happening in our schools that we're trying to fight. Sorry, I got a hand cramp from holding my phone. Going back to Michigan, there's things that we've been trying to fight Islamic indoctrination in our schools forever. And I love it when the naysayers come on. It's like, where's your proof? It's documented proof. Okay. You have to go to your school boards and you've got to fight this with everything that you have. Now, know that when you go to city council meetings, school board meetings, there are times when you have to write your name and address down. And that's how my friends and I got doxxed by Antifa. Just saying. Because they'll go and then get your information off that list. So be careful when you do that. But like, I don't know if you remember me doing that post about Audra Lemons. Her children are constantly being attacked at school because her son wore a Trump hat one day. And they said that it was distracting, but there was girls wearing hijabs. Yeah, but there were girls wearing hijabs. They just went to Washington, D.C. on vacation, and they went to a paranormal experience thing in Gettysburg. Right. And so her daughter wore the sweatshirt from that, and her teacher decided to pull her aside and say that her shirt had guns on it, which it didn't. It was like ghost hunting gear, you know. But because it was Gettysburg and because it's Audra's children, constantly having to fight the school system, they still get like that jetpack thing. Part of their plan is not only having colleges and universities have Islamification indoctrination classes. It's actually on the site. You can go and see for yourself. Again, jet-pac.com. They have a stipulation in there, kind of like when, you know how Mormons go on their things and they come door to door. They have it for Muslims where they want to send high school students out with information. Okay, so pretty much kind of like doing what the Muslim or what the Mormons do. Yeah. But with Islam. So it's like, this is what's going on. I mean, there's so much I could say, but I take up every single minute of your time.
Take it up.
Okay. So then you might say, okay, well, these are all the problems, Kindred. This is what you're addressing. How do we fix it? Okay. I want to tell you that we had some great grassroots candidates. All right. That I'm just going to name them really quick. You know, we had Patrick Colbeck, who was running in the primary. If you do not know who he is one of the most upstanding men I've ever had the pleasure to meet. Okay. He has a Facebook page called Wrestling Gators. And it says like an insider's guide to draining the swamp. But there's so much really good information about what's going on in Michigan, about legislation, about detailed information. about each of the new propositions coming up, legislation. Unfortunately, because he ran for governor, he had to retire as a state senator. So unfortunately, we don't continue to get him. There was John James, again, that people just, and who ended up voting for Debbie Stab Me Now, who has not done anything in 43 years of public service, quote unquote. All she has done is had 5 bills of legislation passed. They were all for renaming buildings. She goes around right before election time to try to get all her voters up, acting like she gives a damn. Like she gives a damn about veterans. No, you don't. She was literally at a VA, and someone was talking about the difficulty of veterans transitioning back into normal life, about healthcare, and she literally said, I didn't know our veterans were having problems. This has been happening like forever, but was only seriously addressed as a nation since Vietnam. So is, since the 1970s not good enough for you, honey? That you haven't been able to do shit? So we had in District 5, that's Genesee County, that's where the Flint water crisis was. Travis Wines, Navy veteran, Grassroots, got beat out by a Democrat. Candia Stearns, Lena Epstein, Jeff Jones, Tom Leonard, Mary Treater Lang. And honestly, I thought Dr. Joseph Guzman should have been our state Secretary of State. We had Jeff Noble, Tom Leonard, Michael Frazier, Jasmine Early, Rosalinda Hernandez, and Deshaun Wilkins. And that's just to name a few people who were grassroots. That's just a few people who were grassroots that knew about America, love America, have a moral core and a moral center, but yet stupid wackadoodles go out and they don't go out in the numbers to vote. So what do we do about that? There is the Rocket Fuel Fund that has been started by Patrick Colbeck. And what that is it's a new PAC to get different PACs together, and it will be completely transparent. But it's where we can get people to make donations ahead of time to help all of these people that are grassroots actually be able to have the money, like fight fire with fire, because they're good, decent people, but they didn't have the financial backing to get their ads on TV. And I'm sorry, but Michiganders are lazy mofos. They'll see what's on TV and like, oh, okay, well, I should vote for them. No, you shouldn't. You need to know who you're voting into office. And, it's up to us, we the people.
Yep.
All right. So the Rocket Fuel Fund, what that's going to do is make sure that there are funds there already donated by good people that want to make sure that the conservative grassroots message, because I'm sorry, there's rhinos and there's demon crabs. We want to make sure that the right people get into office.
The right people.
Okay. The right people.
The right people. Not the look, the right people. Right people.
Right.
I'm right here.
The right people. Because people kept saying, vote for a Republican. Okay, so Bill Schuette was our person for governor. And am I doing this on camera? Just saying. And I had a really hard time with casting my vote for him. It wasn't until the day before that when I talked to Pat and said, look, I cannot in good conscience vote for him. He's a rhino. He hasn't done crap for Michigan. And just because he's the Republican doesn't mean that I need to vote for him. But Patrick and I talked, and he was able to convince me, well, not to mention the fact that Gretchen Whitmer, she supports late-term abortions, as in like 9-month abortions. She wants us to become a sanctuary state. She wants to put refugees and illegals before Americans. She doesn't give a damn about the education system or actually putting the real history of America into history classes. She still supports Common Core, which everybody knows is a complete and utter damn failure nationwide across the board.
We was talking to, Common Core.
And what people don't understand is it wasn't just during the Obama administration. Like somebody had asked me about this before. It was Bill Gates who came up with this crap and proposed it to Obama and all that stuff. So just, duh. And even he says it was a catastrophic failure. So, so now we've got people in our office, in our government positions that want to support this crap. You know, that's why when you look at people's posts, or if somebody, you know, somebody writes you a letter, you can't understand a damn word that they say because they're speaking bingo and not English.
Bingo. Oh, just imagine playing a game of bingo.
Right?
Oh, that stuff don't be like, oh wow, it's an ego trip kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that too much all in one time? I tend to get really excited.
No, I like that. That's how I am. So
right. And so I'm hoping that everybody can follow along, and you know, that I had so much. Oh, the other thing that people can do, especially women. Women, I am talking to you.
Women.
Now, men, you're great. We love you, all that good stuff. But this is a message for the women like myself. Don't be an asshat. Don't say, oh, because I'm a woman, I can't do this, I can't do that. Or because it's a woman candidate, that she's better for a position in leadership. Okay? I'm going to sidestep all the things that I could say that are just catty and sarcastic. No, I'm not going to. You know, there's women with PMS that should not be in any kind of leadership position whatsoever, that are more bipolar than, you know, a whole bunch of them at a freaking psychiatrist convention. Yes. All right. But that's not to say that there aren't really good women that actually have business acumen, that have government and leadership acumen. They may not always be a Republican. Okay. Like, Tricia Flanagan out of New Jersey, she had to run as an independent because the rhino ticket was exactly that, a rhino ticket. And people that have done nothing but destroy everything in New Jersey. So she had to run as an independent, but she was a complete full-on America First MAGA candidate. You have got to do your damn research, people. And one of the things that is happening in Michigan right now is they're starting to form the Republican Women's Federation, which is spreading the conservative message. Yeah. I can get you more information about that. And we're looking for women to be in leadership roles across Michigan, in each of the counties of Michigan. Well, Kindred, are you going to do it in your thing? I'm going to answer you. No. And they know this. Why? Because I am a military wife now. There are things that I can and cannot do. Yeah. Anymore. Kindred, why aren't you at rallies anymore? One, because it's usually like a kiss my ass fest. And break. You know, how much can you suck up to me right now while we're on camera and on my live stream? Hey, let me get you on my live stream. No,
100%.
You know, and they're not actually getting things done. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't go to rallies? No, if you want to and you are able to go, then go. But, you know, there are certain people that don't always have the funding or the transportation or schedules that can go. There are people like me that cannot, being me and as outspoken as I am, I'm not your typical military wife. I am me. And once you're in the military, you are not allowed to really have an opinion about, at least the actual members of the military are not allowed to have a political opinion. So they have to be, you know, like vanilla, for lack of a better term. They're not allowed to say things on social media or even in public. Like if I got pictures of myself at some kind of rally, my husband can get in trouble for what I do. Okay. So, but in the meantime, I can still do what I've always been best at, and that's doing research and getting people involved, getting them the correct information and directing them in the right direction.
Amen. Amen. I love it. I love it.
So, you know, so that's what's going on in Michigan. If you have any questions about, you know, the Republican Women's Federation, hit me up on Amerikindred and I will direct you to the right people. If you are interested in Patrick Colbeck's Rocket Fuel Foundation to help grassroots good ass Americans,
right? Actually, right here.
Yeah, actually have the funding to beat the Democrats that all have crooked, dirty money, and the rhinos that have really crooked, dirty money. Then you can go on Wrestling Gators or find Patrick Colbeck. Sorry about that. I got a call. So, are you there?
I'm there. I'm there.
Okay, sorry about that. I got a call coming in. So, so there's all of that going on in Michigan right now. There's also, you know, someone trying to follow in, was it Illinois or Indiana, putting up a satanic monument? Because there's no satanic presence at the Christian nativity.
Oh my God. Come on. Come on, Kendra. Bring it.
1, blow me. 2, no. You know, I'm going to go back to when you went to Dearborn. Okay.
Right.
There's a reason I wasn't there. You know what that was.
I already know.
Yes. But people don't seem to understand that when you put up something, okay, like say the people that have their Ramadan celebration, they literally, as much as I loathe it, they have permits to do so. Okay. If we're supposed to be all inclusive, you know, and let the Islamic community have their festivals for Ramadan, Christmas is a Christian holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Hanukkah is the Jewish holiday. And you don't see the Satanist trying to put up a satanic idol next to the menorah. You don't see them trying to put up their satanic crap anywhere near a Ramadan festival.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's definitely an attack on our Christian values and everything else when this is our time of year. You know, it's like Easter and Christmas. You know, now there's going to, you know, if you're going to argue with me about how like legitimately in science, like Christmas wasn't really his birthday, just shut up and just celebrate Christmas, damn it.
Yeah. Shut up already. Right.
Yeah. Just shut up. Just yay. But this is when we actually celebrate it. Just like we celebrate Veterans Day on November 11th, how we celebrate, you know, Memorial Day on certain days of the year. This is when we celebrate Christmas. There's no place for satanic crap. You know, by the way, Lucifer was already in hell by the time Jesus was born. So, you know, just, I don't see him bringing any presents. He wasn't one of the wise men bringing frankincense or myrrh. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, the other thing, going back to I'm sorry, you guys, that I segue. I have not been live in a long time, and Mo was asking me to tell you all about Michigan.
Yeah, all about.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about
that. I do. Hold on 1 second so I can tell my husband to call Roger. Hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, we all got lives, y'all. We all got lives.
Hey, babe.
We all got
call
lives.
Roger, please. He keeps calling, and he probably wants to pick up our stuff. Thank you. Okay, sorry. There's my hubby. There's my dog. Okay, so hey, lay down. Thank you. So going back to Dearborn, calm down. Now I'm gonna get my dogs. Okay, so going back to the Dearborn thing. Hey, enough. Lay down. Lay down. Thank you.
Hey, doggy.
All right. So going back to the Dearborn thing. Going back to Dearborn. People keep concentrating mostly on Dearborn. And there you go. And they have to realize it's not just Dearborn. Okay. There's a lot more going on when it comes to the Islamification of Michigan other than Dearborn. There's Sterling Heights, there's Hamtramck, there's Coldwater. I told you what was happening at my friend's school. That's in the Kentwood School District. We've got people that are poisoning our pets, like our dogs specifically. Nothing with cats, just dogs. And it is known that, Islamists don't like dogs. And people are going to say, well, how can you prove that? Well, we can, and we did. You just have to live here to know.
I heard about that.
Yeah, my own dog died.
Oh, I heard.
Just saying. There's a lot of other things where it doesn't have to be a city like Dearborn, because if you go to Dearborn, you were in Dearborn, okay?
Yes.
There's a really nice part of Dearborn, okay? And people that have lived there forever. Has the Islamic signage still been up? Yes, it has. But you know who's at fault is they have an entire city council that's made up of Muslims. So, this is the fault of the people that live there. All right. Also, you have got to get involved in your local communities for it not to take over your own. If you don't, and you become apathetic, then you're going to turn into another Dearborn. People were saying, are there no-go zones? No, there's not. It's kind of like where, like, I would not go into Compton at night by myself. Still to this day, I will not go into Compton alone by myself, you know, but just like you won't go into Dearborn or into Detroit at night.
Yeah.
You know, because you just don't.
Yeah, my black ass won't go to Compton at night.
Right.
I heard I ain't going down there, even though I'm from Chicago. I'll go to Chicago because I know Chicago, but you know,
right.
I don't know Compton.
Yep. Oh, and speaking of Chicago, there's something else I want to tell you. When I was going to Josh's graduation, we were staying at a hotel, and I met this amazing young man who happens to be black. And a lot of people who are going there for, you know, graduations go there for the military, for boot camp and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is in Chicago, and we were just talking. He's like, you know, I'm just glad that we have a president that supports our military. And I'm like, well, thank you for saying that, you know. And we got into this really long talk about, you know, what's expected of him and what's expected of me. Are you still there?
I'm still there. I just took
the
pitch off.
Okay. What's still there, or what's expected of him? And he's like, I'd like to make a change. And I'm like, you can. You absolutely can. I was like, people like the mainstream media, he didn't watch the news either because he said it's kind of crap.
Okay.
And I said, you know, well, what do you want to do to make a change? And he said that he and his friend were thinking about running for office. So I was trying to give him the spiel about what you need to do, what you need to be prepared for, how they dig into your life. And I was like, you know, and this is just somebody I just met, somebody working at a hotel, you know?
Right.
And he's like, I want to thank you for talking to me. He's like, do you understand that you're changing the world right now? And I started bawling because I'm a big crybaby like that. And I said, you know, people in the world would not want to hear you say that to me. He's like, why? I was like, because I'm an older white woman and you're a young black man that has everything in the world ahead of him, you know? And so we exchange numbers, and I try to uplift him all the time because he's in Chicago, you know?
Okay.
And he's like, you know, I would not have known any of these things had you not talked to me. He's like, you don't seem like you're afraid of anything. I was like, I'm never afraid to talk to a person.
Right.
Ever. You know, and that's what people in America in general don't do. They don't talk to people, and you need to. Yes. You need to have your facts. And I told him, I was like, even if we don't agree on everything political, if you want to make a change in your inner city, you can do that. You're allowed to do that. You have a voice.
Yes.
You know, and if someone like me at my age and in my station in life, meaning as a military wife, and there's certain things I can or cannot do. If you feel like your time is past to be a public servant, you need to be out there encouraging others to do it. If they are showing a passion for it or wanting to make changes in their local community, you need to be that motivation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I texted him just the other day. It had been a while. And I'm like, I hope this is still your number, but I wanted to remind you that you are amazing, you know, and that you can be the change that you want to be. And he's like, oh my God, you're still alive. You know, Roger just called again. Can you text him, please? And tell him that we are? Okay, sorry. So, no, he just asked me if I was home right now. Thank you. Sorry. Family stuff. But, you know, if you don't feel like you can be the change, then you need to be educating and be motivating. If nothing else, be motivating for our younger generations, because God knows they are not getting it in the schools. They are not getting it with all this snowflake, millennial, SJW bullshit. You know, these are people right now that are afraid of songs.
Yes.
You know, I literally just posted White Christmas by the Drifters. This morning. It's like if in that time in the 1950s, 60s, when, you know, race relations were really high in our country.
Yeah.
If the Drifters can sing White Christmas, so can you.
Oh my God.
You know, so you need to be the change. If you want to see people not deal with, you know, use race as an excuse, as a gender being an excuse. I'm a short, hobbit-sized white woman that's older, and I was talking to a young Black man with a job that wanted to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
The mainstream media are not going to tell you that because they don't want to see that.
Yeah. But they think we're taking a step back. They think us over here are taking a step back. Oh, you bringing racism back. You guys said that. You guys said that.
No.
Negro, please. I'll say it like this.
Right. Oh, I know you do. I know you do. So I hope I wasn't running on too much. You know, again, there's so much more that I could say, but I think I've like said enough right now.
You know me. Come on, Kindred. Sip. You already know.
I think he's here. He's here. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah. So two of my dogs are really barking. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I got an annoying cat just ran outside.
Right. Okay. So hey, quiet. As far as on our national stage, hold on, let me go into the bathroom. Sorry, you're coming with me to the bathroom, folks. Just saying.
Ghetto. That's so ghetto.
Right? So ghetto.
Ghetto.
Now, hopefully I don't have to like pee when I'm in here. Hi. Okay, so the thing about
white Shamika.
Right? Oh no, you didn't. Oh my god, did I just say that? Like on YouTube?
That's offensive. That woman a racist. She just marked Black people. Right? I was like,
God. But you know, again, going back, and I'm sorry I got distracted, dogs barking and phone calls and things like that. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I apologize. Just saying.
You're good.
As far as on the national stage, I've said this before in a couple of my live streams. If you think our job is over supporting our president, you're sorely mistaken and you need to get off your freaking ass. Because getting him elected was only the first part of our job. Okay? He is continually attacked. Everybody knows this. Okay? Everybody knows he's continually attacked, but he has kept more promises than any president that I can remember. And I was around when even like Jimmy Carter was president. So, you know, yeah.
Oh, the teeth.
Right. I'm just saying. He's the first president that has cared so much about our veterans and our military since Reagan. You know, you need to go in and literally, again, do your research, figure out where his salary goes, because people don't know where his salary goes. Some has gone to the National Wildlife Foundation. Some has gone to, our veterans hospitals, the VAs, library preservation. There's so many different things that he's done to make our country better, never gets credit for it. And if you think that this incoming Congress is going to help him, don't forget who I told you was just elected into office. People whose primary goal is to take out America from the inside. It's not even demon craps that we have to worry about anymore, or rhinos. It's the Muslims that just came into office. Not to mention the closet Muslims who converted when Obama was in office.
Right.
And now we got wackadoodles that don't know crap about our Constitution, don't know anything about history. She thinks attorneys and lawyers are two different kinds of people. You know, this is who the younger generation are electing because, they're young and they're vibrant. It's like, no, they're young and they're idiots, just like you.
Oh, idiots.
Idiots. So, you know, we have got to concentrate more than ever right now to do what you need to do at the local level. Then you do it at the state level. And that is what's going to help our president in the next election. Because even once he's out of office in 6 years, thank you very much.
Thank you.
He still needs our support. And some of those people will be getting offices for 6 years. And, you know, it's not who's in the Oval Office for 4 years at a time. It's who you Nimrods are electing for 6-year terms at a time that are in there for, 30 plus years, or like Debbie Stabby now, who's been a public quote unquote servant for 43 years. Vote these fuckers out.
Yes.
If you don't, that is where your vote counts. It counts when you're getting out corruption. It counts when you're putting in the right American for a job. Now, does that mean they have to have tons of political experience? No. No, they need to want to abide by the Constitution of the United States, pledge allegiance to the United States, and not give a damn about anything that can conflagrate. I totally said that word wrong. Can conflagrate anything about what our founding fathers wanted for this country. Period.
Period.
You don't have to be a demon crap. You don't have to be a Republican. You have to be an American. I've said it a million times over. Stop being afraid. Start being American.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. You don't have to be a Democrat. You don't have to be a Republican. Be an American. What's the matter? Be an American. You know, look, I'm gonna say this. People sweeping down that our side, the right side, that we are homophobic and we this and all that.
My daughter is gay.
My son is gay.
Right? Too bad they're gay. We could have gotten them together. Just saying.
Yes. Right. We could have gotten it. Yeah. And we got gays in this movement. We got a transgender in this movement that I know love her very much, man.
Right.
Or, you know, and it is what it is. We got blacks in the movement. We are very diverse. We got Asians in this movement.
You got alabaster privilege in this movement.
Yes. That is right up in here, you dig. And
right.
I mean, I don't look at I don't see us as being homophobic or racist, or I don't see that, because I'm looking like, hold on, what a racist. Introduce me to the racist Trump supporter over here. Introduce me. I haven't found
right.
They're racist on both sides. That's very undercover. That's
it's not even that it's undercover, Mo. It's the fact that these people were like, I honestly believe that it was how their upbringing was. Now, granted, I am a white person. I'm a very super Caspery white. Like, there's nothing tan about my like ancestry at all whatsoever. Yeah. But I wasn't raised like that. I grew up in Covina, California, where there was Mexicans, blacks, whites, like everybody, Asians, Koreans, like everything. Right. You know?
Same here.
The thing was, the worst thing that I ever thought was a problem was when we were all, we were advanced students. So I'm not trying to brag or anything like it, because I'm so not. But our biggest worry was who's going to write what essay to get into an Ivy League school. And and one of my friends, she was Korean. My other friends, Black, Hispanic. I mean, I lived by the border, but we were all vying for the same stuff. It didn't matter what color you were, what gender you were. Yeah. Okay. It's like, keep your grades up so you can, at that point it was in the 80s. So it was like that whole success thing. Like, I'm just going to say it's like the whole, Michael J. Fox thing from Family Ties, Alex P. Keaton thing. Like, who's going to get into Harvard? Who's going to get into Stanford? Yeah. I mean, that's because institutions of higher learning at that time, you wanted to get into those schools so that you could make something of yourself, not be indoctrinated by liberal bullshit.
Liberal bullshit, right? I say that the racist people are the one that think everything is racist.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is racist. That's racist. That monkey is racist. They're like stuff. Right? You must think black people look like that since you offended about the word monkey.
Right? Oh, I know. And the thing was, she did. I put up side by side comparisons of her and when Helena Bonham Carter, one of the other whitest women in the UK, played the doctor from Planet of the Apes. It's like, dude, you look just like her. You're wearing the same freaking outfit and your hair is the same. You look just like her. Yeah. Valerie Jarrett. Yeah, I'm talking to you, you head. Right. So, did you give him the money? Okay. Ooh. That's my hubby.
What's up? What's up, hubby? What's up, hubby?
So, the racist thing is dumb. The gender thing is dumb. It's like, if you are a person who has goals and have done the research and have done what it takes to have a leadership position, then qualify yourself for that position. I did that video a long time ago about brains, not boobs. You know, don't vote for Hillary just because she's got boobs. Don't vote for me because I have boobs. Am I qualified? You know,
right
now, am I qualified for whatever position that is? You know, B, I saw a meme the other day. It's like, it had something to do with the military, but if you love the military or something like that, then it says, then be an American worth fighting for. If you want to make a change, be someone worthy of making that change.
Worthy.
You know, that doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Nobody is. But don't lie. Don't be a criminal. You know, that it's, if you want to be the change, if you want to make a change, be the change. You know? So all of this race bullshit, all of this gender bullshit, all of this other shit is exactly that. It's shit. If you don't want to be shit, then stop fertilizing your own fucking gardens. Just saying. Stop spreading the manure already, because manure allows things to grow. You want to be a racist asshole? Then spread your shit somewhere else, because we don't need it. I don't need it growing in my garden.
You don't want to plant no bad seeds up in there.
No, absolutely not. Right? You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So, was that enough for you today, Mo?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just like, man, you know, it ain't never too enough. I mean, no, everything good. You know, wow, you hear everything on the money, you know, and I tell people I don't know nothing about what's going on in Michigan. I hear bits and pieces. But no, you right here. Let's hear it from, you know what I'm saying, right here. Straight out of Michigan, right here.
Right. So, you know, I mean, if there's people that have things that, if they're in Michigan, or if they want to know the truth about Michigan, make sure that you know who you're following, that you're doing the right research. I've got a list of tons of people that you can get involved with, organizations you can get involved with to make real change. And I would actually challenge everybody to do that in their own states and in their own communities. If nothing else, be the person that reaches out to a Trayvon like I did. You know, not saying you have to be like me, blah, blah, blah. So I know there's going to be haters that are going to say that. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, go out of your comfort zone. You know, just one person can make a difference.
The comfort zone, which remind me of, you know, Facebook, the comfort zone.
Yeah, no shit. The pariah of like anal hemorrhaging.
Well, next.
Right? No kidding. So I think that's about it I had for Michigan. I mean, you know, I hope I covered everything. I know it was kind of like here, there, and everywhere, but I get really passionate about what I say, and I didn't want to go on like forever and a day.
Be passionate. You know, you got more to say. You know what? You invited back on anytime. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you, Mo. I appreciate that. You know, and it's really good to see you again. And
hey,
you know,
good to see you. We about to end this. I want you to stay on line. Stay on line.
Okay, I will.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to me. Again, there was a lot of information. If you watch it, then just go to Amerikindred on Facebook and you'll find stuff there.
Right. And y'all see the link right here. I put the link right here. I'm going to put the link actually one more time right here in the chat room. And I'm going to put the link in the description box. And that's what, you know, going to follow right here. Yep. Right here. Amerikindred right here. I just put the link right here. And hey, y'all have a blessed day. Okay. See y'all.
Smooches.